Hari Om, good evening, a very warm welcome to each one of you. Please come, let's pray together. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amrutam gamaya sahana vavatu sahano bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvina vadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. O Lord the Almighty, the Omniscient, the Omnipresent, the Omnipotent, to such a Supreme Lord, who also has the divine names Sarvadarshi and Vimuktatma, we offer our humble most salutations, filled with Shraddha, Bhakti and Prapatti. O Lord, we beseech upon you to bless us with your grace, your love, your kindness, your benevolence, your mercy, your strength. O Lord, we pray to enhance the divine qualities in us, Shraddha, Bhakti, Jnana, Vairagya and Prapatti, and Mumukshutva, It's only and only your grace and your strength which can give us the first-hand experience of thy true self right within us. We pray and beseech that we all have the Aparoksha Anubhuti right within our hearts in this very life and life alone. And we pray that at the end of our lives, we reach thy holy abode. Our humble salutations to the Guru Parampara. Om Tat Sat. Today we are on our Divine Discourse number 418 by the grace of the Almighty and the blessings of the Guru Parampara. On the 18th of March 2025, Swasti Shri Krodinama Samvatsara, Uttarayana, Shishira Rutu, Falguna Masa, Krishna Paksha, Bhomavasare, Chaturtyatito, Swati Nakshatra, Vegata Nama Yoge, Balavakarane. On this auspicious day of Tuesday and the auspicious time of the evening, we all take a firm resolve Naham Karta, Hari Karta, Hari Preranaya, Hari Pritirtham. Whatever is happening in my life, it's all happening at the behest and will of the Almighty. I completely surrender with prapatti to the Almighty. Even that little bit of purushartha which is there in me, I surrender that too. And become a pure witness to whatever is happening in my life, without getting drowned in the vagaries of life, without getting affected with the situations in life. I constantly keep myself in tune with that pure consciousness. Oh Lord, give me that strength to achieve what I have in mind, which is nothing but your grace and grace alone. Our salutations to the Guru Parampara once again. Om Tat Sat. Good evening to all of you. A very warm welcome once again. So we start with the prayer of Aparoksha Anubhuti. Shri Harim Paramanandam Upadeshtaramishwaram Vyapakam Sarvalokanam Karanam Tam Namamyaham. Without grace, nothing happens. And grace can move mountains. I think we all have experienced in life. Till the time you think that you are doing, things go wrong. And once you surrender it to the Lord, then you don't know how things start going in the right way. That is ignorance and knowledge. Okay. Now, so far, we have seen Bhagavan Shankaracharya, he says, first you need to be qualified. Just like in the modern world, anywhere you want to get an entry, they look into your qualifications. and whether you are eligible or not. This comes as the first criteria. In the same way, here Bhagavan Shankaracharya, he says, look at your dashboard. What all qualifications you need to have to be a true sadhak. Understand and see for yourself, where do you stand in terms of having those qualifications. Not that you should start when everything reaches 100%. No. If you have a decent amount of that quality, start your journey. And simultaneously keep building upon that quality and ensure that from time to time you are rather boosting the qualities which in you, if at all they are depleting, but ensure that you have the requisite amount so that you can travel faster. So after all that, he then brings us to the aspect of where he's now trying to tell us. He poses 4 questions and he answers all those 4 questions. Who am I? Who is the creator? With what is this world created? All that he answers. And one important aspect which I would like to mention, like we spoke about in the previous verse, just like as clay is the material cause for the mud pots. So in the same way he says that existence, consciousness and bliss, that reality is of course the cause of the entire universe, but at the same time ignorance and desire, these 2 things are the driving forces for this creation, which is where you can say Maya has come in that sphere. So this is how it is created. You can't do anything about it. Now when a mother conceives, does she have any control on how the baby is getting formed in her womb? It is happening. It's that creation which is happening. And after the baby is born, we get to know how the baby is, what is the complexion, what is the height, what is the overall features in that baby. So in the same way here, it is how it is constructed. Now what you have to do, what we can do over here is understand how this whole complex is created and then see where you can modify and where you could play a vital role in terms of coming out of this catch. Now the catch is what over here, as he says, I have given avarana and vikshepa, 2 important aspects which are designed by me to ensure that you don't see me. See, this is very clear. You don't see me meaning what? Avarana. Avarana means a veil. See, when we go to temples, you must have seen, sometimes you go into the temple and suddenly you see, what is this? They put a screen over there and then they tell, Naivedyam is happening. So the Lord is, they're giving food to the Lord. So now it is break. So they cover it up. Meaning, although the Lord is there right in front of you, but you are not able to see because of the veil in front of the Lord. So in the same way, this avarana, how does this avarana come? This avarana comes by ignorance. See, technically he has used 2 different words, desire and ignorance. So avarana is ignorance, and then he says vikshepa. Vikshepa is that projecting it in a different way, that is desire. Now we all get those desires and our mind starts projecting things. So with ignorance, we don't know what is the right pathway to life, to that so-called divinity, and with the desires sprouting in us from time to time, we get stuck with the world. And as I've been mentioning It is only that Ishvara Krupa, some lives who have really toiled, they get the grace and they continue on this path. Some may take a longer time, maybe one life may not be enough. But as he says, if at all somebody has resolved, Tivra Mumukshutva is this life and life alone, provided you sacrifice everything. This life and life alone. If you say, I'll do this with my fullest extent, but I would like to have by this side, what we call, by this side, something, all the other worldly enjoyments also. See, he is the knower. One who watches everybody, now he understands how much are you sacrificing over here for me. If he feels that you are ready to give up every joy of your life, and then he says, yes, you are deserving. That is Tivra Mumukshatva. Not that you have to get away with the family life, not do anything, all the time keep thinking of him. No. Once you have understood this knowledge, now this is one very important aspect. After you have got this Aparoksha Anubhuti, then you mean to say what? You become like a zombie, where nothing matters to you and you're all the time in some kind of a daze. No. Once this knowledge has entered, then I should not be telling you this, but after that, you don't have to do your rituals also. None of the rituals, you are freed from everything. This is the power of being realized. Not a single thing. You have gone there, touched that pinnacle, and there you are. Once you have experienced that, you don't have to keep thinking again and again. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says, you have ignorance. He compares ignorance to a thorn in somebody's feet. Okay, now there is a thorn. Now you are in a jungle now where there is a needle or where there is any other sharp point to remove the thorn. So what they do is they take the help of another thorn in the jungle. They look at a healthy thorn, stiff, they pluck that thorn, and with that they start removing the thorn which is pierced in your leg. Now that other thorn is considered to be jnana. How will ignorance go? Only by knowledge. So with the thorn of knowledge, they remove the thorn of ignorance. And then what do? You throw away both. You meant to say you throw away knowledge also? Yes. Why? Because its job is done. Ignorance is already gone. Why do you need knowledge now? So that way. That is the stage which we all have to reach. Keep moving with that knowledge. Try to go deeper and deeper. You are able to see that, yes, I don't understand this. I'm not getting this, but I'll keep my sadhana on. And go by what is prescribed by the Shastras. Don't go by what you feel. Oh, I feel this is good for me. Let me keep doing this. No. It is every child will like to be in kindergarten. They tell stories, they give you sweets, they make you play games. They hardly teach you anything. Now if the child has to go to the next class, he'll say, no, this is good for me. Why should I go to the higher class? It's not. Yes, some things, that is what they say. You should not even get stuck in sattva. Sattva is good things. You keep doing that same good thing. No, devote yourself for totally knowledge. Get that, and then you do whatever you want. So this is one of the secrets shared by several saints. Okay, this is what is of the 16th shloka. Now, 15th shloka, what we did in the last class. Now, as I told you, he takes twists and turns. After having given all this knowledge, now he comes straight in the 16th verse. He talks about what is the nature of this Parabrahman. What is that nature? Now, what you want to understand? Now, what have you understood? You have understood about, you know what you are and what this world is, which we all have known right from the beginning, out of common sense. But he says, now understand what is that which is controlling this entire universe. How this universe is created. First, let's understand that, he says, and begin your inquiry. I'll tell you how to go about the inquiry. See, now we all inquire. It's a nature, but we have to shift our focus of inquiry. Somebody is going there, we inquire, who is that lady? I have not seen her. Or who is that gentleman? I have not seen him. This is a very common. Now somebody is going, now you ask the person next to you, who is that? How will he or she know? But that inquisitiveness is there. You see a new car over there. You say, whose car is this? And then you see some poster over there. You say, oh, which movie is this? So likewise, we are always inquiring of something or the other which has got no relevance to our upkeep in life. Stop that inquiry first. Why do you want to understand who is a newcomer? Who and what is doing over here? What somebody is talking? No. And your inquiry should be, I want to know what my true self is. I do not know. I think I am this person, but I am not that. I that much I understand. Then what am I? So for that, to ignite that inquiry, Bhagavan Shankaracharya, he straight hits at what is one's true nature. So let's understand that shloka and then we move on. Come. Verse number 16. Ahamekopi sukshmascha jnata sakshi sadavyayah tadaham natra sandeho vichara soyamidrishaha. Now you'll get to see what he's saying here is vicharaha, inquire, soyamidrishaha, in this particular way. So now he puts a threshold over here. You have to start inquiring. Now this is that Paramatattva. Where and how are you going to get that? So that becomes our whole endeavor now. So let's move ahead and see. Okay. So it starts with aham ekaha. If you see ahame kopi sukshmascha, aham ekaha api sukshma. That's how it is. You have to split this. So now he very clearly says tadaham natra sandeha. Tadaham natra sandeha means without any doubt. Don't keep any doubt in your mind. Natra sandeho, you vicharo, vicharasyo, yom vicharasyo, ayam idrishaha. Meaning this way you start inquiry. So here, so first if you see what we have to do in this whole process. Now at the borderline or on the outset, macro level, let's keep certain things in mind. Like when you're starting on a journey, you have a pair of binoculars, you have a compass, you have your water bag. So certain things are there which you need to have as your kit. In your kit, you need to have that. If you lose direction, you have a compass. Now, of course, it is like a mobile, but if there are no signals, what will you do? Then you have a map. You have to see the distant objects, you have a binoculars. Then you have a knife. You have some protection instrument. So that way, three important things, how this whole process is going to happen. What we have to do is first disidentify ourselves with anything that is impermanent and finite. We call it as limited, anything. Like anything is limited, like your house is limited, your car is limited, your money is limited, your body is limited, your life is limited, isn't it? So disidentify, I am not this. Anything which says na idam chaitanya, idam means this, not this. If anything you can say it is this, then it is not chaitanya, it is not that consciousness. So start disidentifying yourself. And in that again he says, whatever is an object of knowledge, in that same first point only, how do you identify what is finite and what is limited? Anything which is an object of knowledge. Like you can see a person, he or she is an object of knowledge, it is a limited person. If you see an object like a phone or like a car, all these are what? An object which you can see with your knowledge. So he says this again comes under the category of limited. This is not consciousness. Okay, so this is the first step. Now the second step, what he says is, whatever you have disidentified from the world of objects, which are so-called limited, which are so-called finite, now he says, how do you think that these things are coming into existence? It is only and only because of the power of that Parabrahman with Ishvara and Maya, that is Prakriti and Purusha, he has created this entire universe. So he says, look at everything as nothing but that infinite existence, consciousness, bliss. Can there be anything which a Prakriti can create without existence? Isness, what we call Astitva. You cannot. So know that whatever you have now kept it separated from yourself, all that has come from that infinite Brahman, that is existence, consciousness. And know for clear that Brahman is the only foundation, the ground for this entire universe. Okay. So now what happened? You separated yourself from everything, and that everything other than you, now he says, even that is Parabrahman. So you were already in the state of Atma, because all this was Anatma for you. And now he puts the next point as the saying that even what you have separated, it is none other than that Atma. And now the third level, which is extremely important, is that when you are seeing in you the godliness or the divineness, and when you start looking at every object, place, person, that divinity, in terms of what? That divinity meaning everything is constructed out of the 5 elements with the atoms, protons, neutrons, electrons, if you have to talk about science. So that way, when everything is constructed, now what is there in that each and every atom, behind every electron, proton, neutron? Now, as the scientists say, there is a God particle. So in you there is a God particle, because you are also made up of all those characteristics. So this way you start relating that within you and outside of you, there is nothing which is separating. So you merge back the entire universe into your own self. Having first realize that you have that divinity. I am not this person. Unless and until you come to that stage, nothing will help us. Now, where is this Shadripu? Kama, desire, Krodha, anger, Lobha, greed, Moha, delusion, Mada, pride, Matsarya, jealousy. Where are all these 6 so-called stupendous enemies for us? All these are situated in our mind. And what is mind? Maya. who always wants to keep it under its grip. So first remove that negativity from you. First cleanse yourself. As they say in a flight, the air hostess tells you, should there be a calamity, you first ensure that you wear a mask before even you can put a mask to your baby. First you wear yourself and then protect whoever else is there. So in the same way here, we have to first understand and realize, and then you will be able to see that transformation happening in the true sense. So this ignorance is in the body, in the mind, and what you have understood, now everything is me. I have separated myself from everybody. Up to my skin, it is me. Beyond that, it is the world. There are several people and there are several objects, several places. And this is how you are operating in the world. Now these things, what Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, you have to change your concept. So now we are entering the first stage, where we are trying to disidentify ourselves with all objects, places and persons, including our own body. Okay, now this is where we are going to start our journey. So remember that, like when you go to a zoo, there's a map at the entrance where all, what all parks are there within the zoo, they mention. Now this is a tiger park, this is a deer park, this is a bear park, and then this is a lion park. Here you have the birds, that way. And then they'll mention, you are here. Oh, now I'm here. So if I go straight, I can see all this. If I go to my right, these are all the parks there. If I go to the left, so that way you should know where you are. What am I doing? So from here onwards, almost till up to verse 33, we will be talking about only disidentification. So don't get confused. I have given you the macro picture, just like you see the picture of the whole park, Without that map, what you would have gone? You would have gone seeing one by one. You would not know what is where. But now with this, I have only 3 hours for the entire zoo, let's say. But if you want to see the whole thing, it takes about 6 hours. Now what would you do? You will ask somebody, Acha, if it is going to take 6 hours and if I have only 3, then you will calculate, I don't want to see, or you will say, I want to see this only. And you will make a list and go to those respective places and come out at your right time, having seen everything what you wanted. So in the same way, now here we start our journey with that disidentification. Okay. So as we do that, then in the second stage we'll get to see the falsity, the nature of appearance of the entire universe. And then at one point you will find that, between the infiniteness within me and the infiniteness which is there outside, there is no difference. So this is what we need to understand. So then from the 34th verse onwards till almost the 88th verse, you will be seeing the next level where within you and outside you, you will be coming together. After then we'll have the Jivan Mukti state, and then the 15-step process, which will help us to get established in this knowledge. It's going very systematically. That is what we need to understand over here. It is so very well designed. And who has designed this? The Lord Himself, the Creator Himself, the one who has brought in ignorance in the entire creation. He is the one who is giving this knowledge in the right manner to oust the ignorance from our minds. So with that faith, now we start our journey. Okay. Before I touch base on this 16th verse, what I would like to do is, I would like to tell you of certain concepts. Unless and until you understand those concepts, you will not be able to get the grip of this entire shloka. Okay. which I was struggling for several years. And so, how is this? I'm not able to understand. Although you're reading again and again, but we never had that approach or access to ask somebody and get that clarification. There were so many limitations in our study, being a grasta. Okay, so over a period of time, when as we say that, when you are completely surrendered and you want it at any cost, somewhere God gives you that. So I felt I should not take the usual approach, which I go on explaining the meaning of the text, and then I see that it doesn't work that way. You need to have this knowledge much before. So I'm going to present it to you on those lines. Okay, now understand consciousness. I'll give you a definition of consciousness in a very simple way. And here in this particular shloka, if you see, ahame kopi sukshmascha jnata sakshi sadavyayaha. He says, okay, sukshmascha, very subtle. I'll explain all that. Jnata. Jnata means the knower. Now, what is the difference between the knower and the sakshi? The one who is witnessing. Witnessing also is a knower. So those subtle differences. Now, if in this particular shloka, if we get the difference between the sakshi and the jnata, along with the jnata is the jiva bhava. Understand? Now everything is mixed up together. So we have to differentiate who is this jiva, who is this jnata, the knower. The knower means now you're listening to me, you're seeing me, you're able to get the smell of something around you. All what you are experiencing, you are the knower of these experiences. And then he says, now there is one more who is the witness. So these subtle things which are there, which are all mixed up, we have to draw fine lines and conduct our life accordingly with this knowledge. Otherwise, this knowledge will make no meaning to you. Okay, so now just listen to these concepts and then we will go to the shloka and maybe readdress it if it comes to that way. Okay. Now this has got nothing to do with the shloka, but it is preparing you for understanding the text in the right way. And eventually understanding the text means gaining that first-hand experience of that divinity right within you. Okay. Now, in every experience of yours, think logically. You have consciousness and you have an object. Isn't it? Only then there is an experience. Otherwise, there is no experience. To give you an example, is there any experience in deep sleep? Because there is no object over there. Only the feeling after you got up from deep sleep that I had a very good sleep. Whereas in a dream, you have an experience. So the first thing is, for any experience, you need to have an object. Now, what can the object be? The perception. Like your eyes, your ears, your tongue, your nose, your skin, all the five senses. Now with those and the awareness, which is consciousness, you get experiences continuous basis. Okay. Now in every emotion, you're happy, you're sad, you're anxious, you're fearful. Along with that, now that can happen only when there is consciousness within you. Isn't it? So for every idea which comes to your mind, you need to have first the consciousness and then the thought. Then only you solved a problem in school, let's say. You solved a problem at your office work, at your office place. You solved a problem at your home. You are first aware, and then the thought came, and then you get an experience that, yes, I have an idea. You suddenly forgot something. You are first aware that you have forgotten. And then only you realize that, yes, I wanted to get that thought which I had earlier remembered, I am not able to get it. Now look, at every stage there is awareness. In all actions, now if I am talking, you are listening, first of all I am aware, and then eventually I can understand that I am talking. So in memory there is consciousness, in every action there is consciousness or awareness, and in every emotion or idea there is consciousness and awareness. Okay, this happens to be the very concept of our life. Now, even while you are, not only while awake, while you go to sleep, that awareness continues within you. In dreams you are aware, then only you can see that, yes, I dreamt so and so things in my dream. So there also it is on a continuous basis. Excepting in deep sleep, since there is no object to the consciousness, consciousness is still. So there is no experience of in the deep sleep. So this way, one important aspect you should know, that consciousness can be experienced in every aspect of your life, be it you are by perceptions, by organs of action, by your thoughts, by your memory. Every aspect you will see that it is continuously there sprouting in you. Now you will say, where is God? Where is this? It is that consciousness within you which is continuously active. Okay. Now we are going to learn about this consciousness now. These are all different things. You will have to get it bit by bit. Now this consciousness or chaitanyam, or you call it witness, or you call it chit, all this mean the same. There are 5 rules to understand this. First of all, consciousness is not a part of your body or your mind. Think, I have consciousness in me. No, you are in consciousness. Consciousness is not within you. So understand this, that it is not a part of your body or mind. Rule number 1. Then consciousness is apart from your body and mind, but it pervades and illumines the entire body and mind. It is not a part of your body and mind, but it pervades. Second one is, it pervades and illumines the entire body and mind. Very simple to understand. We have just said that it is not a part of your body, and we also say that, yes, I am alive because there is consciousness within me. Very simple to understand. Second one. Third, apart from being and illumining my body, keeping me alive, this consciousness, it enables me to function at every stage with my body and mind. First, not a part. Second, it enlivens, it is giving life. Third, it is enabling you to function, meaning it is enabling the mind and body, not you, because you are that consciousness. So 3 things. Now fourth one, through the functioning of this body and mind, we come to know that there is consciousness, meaning in other words, we can experience consciousness. Like, for example, there is electricity at home. Okay, how do you know there is electricity? It has pervaded the entire house. Electricity is there through the cables. It is gone everywhere. If you want to know if there is electricity or not, what do? You sometimes say, switch on the fan or switch on that light. And when you switch on and say, oh yes, the fan is moving or the light is burning, meaning yes, there is electricity, you switch it off again. So that functioning of that mind and body at every stage, what you're doing. See now how you're able to understand this consciousness. See now, because we can't relate to this, that's the reason I'm giving this explanation. How will you understand consciousness otherwise? So every experience, now I'm talking for this This cannot happen. Pratibodha viditam matam amrutatva vindyate. Amrutatva vindyate. It is pointing out towards Amruta Tattva, that pure consciousness existence. Pratibodha viditam matam. Every action of yours, every experience of yours. So now the fourth one, what we got to know? We are able to experience consciousness in every action of ours. And the fifth one is, without the mind and body, consciousness is still there. It may not be known, it cannot be experienced. Like you have switched off all the electrical apparatus at home. Electricity is still there, and it is also not known. Even if your body and mind is not there, consciousness is still there, but it cannot be known because it is not experienced. You understand? Now, let's take a simple example. The first one, it is not a part of your body and mind. Let's say now there is light in this room. Okay. Now I place my hand. Now that light is reflecting on my hand. So this light is not a part of this hand. Nor it is a product of this hand. Light is different, hand is different. So compare the hand to body and mind, and the light is towards consciousness. Okay. Now, the second point is, this particular light, it pervades the entire hand and it is illumining the hand. As we said, the entire consciousness is pervading the entire body. It is giving life to the body. In the same way, this particular light is giving brightness to the hand. This is the second point. Now the third point is, it does not only restrict to this particular body and mind. It exists all along. So now if there is light, it is there existing all along. Not only on this, it is not limited to this particular palm of mine or hand of mine, but it is existing all around. And the last one is, only by the presence of this palm, I can see this light. Otherwise, see, if I remove my hand, you cannot experience. Because we know that there is light, we can understand, fine. But imagine the moment I put my hand, there is a reflection happening and you are able to experience and see the hand in a much better way. So in the same way, you can experience the light only because it is getting reflected. And the last point is, if one removes the hand, although the light is still there, but we don't get the experience of the light. So in this way now, this is a very simple way of understanding consciousness. Otherwise, as you go deeper and deeper into the text, there are so many profound words, because the Vedas themselves say that it is something which cannot be agrahyam. It can neither be understood by your mind, nor it can be understood by grasped by your senses. So then what is the way we can understand this? Tell me. So this is what we were trying to again and again. We were struggling to get this. And finally, now keep this in the background. What is the definition of consciousness? And now with this, you know that, okay, consciousness means, as we experienced light and its characteristics. So now I will try to understand on those lines. Okay. So we'll come to one more concept. Okay, I'll take the concept first because it's much better. Let's complete all these concepts. Okay, now the next one is, now understand this. First one, what did we understand? Behind every experience, there is consciousness plus object. Second one, we understood what is the definition of consciousness and how we can relate it to our life. Now, the third question which can come to our mind is, if you are again and again saying that there is only one and one consciousness enveloping the entire universe, what did you say? We are in consciousness, but consciousness is not in us. We are in consciousness, meaning I am in consciousness, you are in consciousness, the other person is also in consciousness, which means everybody, when they are having the same consciousness, should not our experiences, thoughts, and belief systems, everything should be the same? This question can come. Different things are coming in their mind and different things are coming in my mind. Different experiences are coming to me and different experiences are coming to somebody else. So now what we need to make an understanding here is that consciousness and knowledge, these two important things, bear in mind. Consciousness is different, knowledge is different. Consciousness means awareness, chaitanya, chit. Now, but what is the meaning of knowledge? That same consciousness. Now, catch this carefully. This is very important. That same consciousness shining upon my mind, it lights up my mind. And the moment my mind is lit up, I am called as the pramata, the knower. Okay, now I know. If there is no consciousness, what will I know? Like somebody is in a coma, what will he know? So when that same consciousness, which is lit up in my mind, which is in this body, okay, you are called as a pramata, the knower. Now this is that sentient being which we call as the jiva. Then once that feeling, see, first thing in the morning when you get up, what do you get to your mind? Think about it. You first come to know that I am Srinivas Sirigiri. Yes, I come to know that. So that sentient being comes into very being the moment you get that consciousness on your mind. So that awareness shining on a mind with its own distinctive cluster of, you have memories, you have impressions, you have your past history, your personality. Now all that is lit up. Suddenly as you get up, you first come to know who you are, and then the whole array of all your things to do and tasks, whatever has to be delegated, whatever has to be received, whatever has to be given, all that will start coming to you. So, and this mind, when it is lit up, we call this as the reflected consciousness. Be careful. Now, this is not the true consciousness. This is the reflected consciousness in the mind with your distinctive cluster of thoughts, emotions, personality. You are called that jiva, that person. Okay. Now, what does this jiva, this person do now? Now, this person, he uses the instruments of knowledge. What are these? Pramana. Who is that person now? Pramata. That pramata, he uses these instruments of knowledge when the mind which is reflected with consciousness, that borrowed consciousness, he becomes a knower, pramata, and with the instruments of knowledge which are known as pramana. Now these instruments are knowledge, meaning eyes, ears, tongue, nose, skin. These are the instruments of knowledge. Now if he wants to see, he uses his eyes. If he wants to hear, he uses his ears. And this way he uses his mind with all these instruments of knowledge. This particular consciousness, the moment he wants to see, it gets associated with the ears and he collects that information. And he becomes a knower, a hearer. Now just like as you are listening to my words. So my words of knowledge or information, what do they become to you? They become the known object, which is prameya. So pramata, pramana, and things to be known become prameya. See, this is all how the world, the entire life is happening. Okay, and when you get that knowledge, you heard something, you got some knowledge, that is known as prama. 4 things. Pramata, knower. Pramana, you have the instrument of knowledge. With that, whatever is knowable or seeable, tasteable, touchable, all that, you are getting that knowledge. So pramata with pramana, prameya, and you got that knowledge, prama. 4 things. So you use your eyes, your ears, tongue, nose, all skin. You are making all this continuously, and your mind. Whatever common sense information you have got here and there, you're using that book knowledge, the internet knowledge, somebody is telling you, all that you're collecting, and you get that knowledge. Now, Now, this is, by the way, it comes from Ashtavakra Gita. This is a very profound text. Okay. Now, in this Ashtavakra Gita, where all this knowledge is given, now he says there is a vast difference between that pure consciousness and this awareness, the knower, the pramata. Because the knower has got very limited knowledge, whereas that consciousness is massive. This knower is very limited, shining upon this mind. With that, whatever instruments he has, you may have some bad eyes, you may not have that real good ears. With whatever kind of an instrument you have, you get that tiny slice of knowledge. You will not know what is happening in, say, a kilometer away from your place. Why kilometer? Just about 200 meters away from your place. Neither you can see nor you can hear. So, if at all you want to know what is happening over there, you will have to go there. You will have to physically go there. And with your set of instruments, you will have to focus over there, understand what is happening. So, this particular knowledge, although it happens in your awareness, you are limited by your set of instruments, which are the pramana. Okay. So, now get this carefully. This known, which I am able to get with my instruments of knowledge, and that unknown, which I am not able to get because they are away from me, both are in awareness, in consciousness. How is it in our awareness? Whatever is I am aware of becomes the known, and whatever I cannot see, I cannot hear, I cannot touch, I cannot taste, they become the unknown. And know that all the known and the unknown are in awareness. So, now the difference, who are you? Are you the knower? Where we just now discussed all these, pramata, pramana, prameya, prama. This is the knower. Now exactly that's what we are, isn't it? But he says now in the Ashtavakra Gita, they say, you are not the knower, you are the Sakshi. Now in the Shloka it is what? Gyata and Sakshi Sadavyayaha. So that's the reason I'm giving this background, because in this you have to just say you are not the knower, you are the Sakshi, and move on. That's what we did in the Kannada class. I said, then how will anybody understand this? So I said, okay, maybe in the future shlokas there will be some deeper explanation. It was not there. So I said, no compromise on the duration. You have to get it very clear. The known and the unknown are all in awareness. And the knower is the jnata. And that awareness, consciousness, is the Sakshi. So this reflected consciousness and the mind together is known as the Jiva, the sentient being, which we all are. Now you know who is a jiva now? You have a mind. You have that reflected consciousness. And with all your instruments of knowledge, you are gaining knowledge in this world and you are acting as a pramata. Now it doesn't stop here. You are not only a pramata, but you are also a bhokta. Because you are experiencing things. Which means, bhoga means generally we call as an enjoyer. But it is not only enjoyer, but it is also suffering. Bhoga means both. So both pain and pleasure. Now who? This jiva, reflected consciousness, the mind, and with the instruments of knowledge, as the pramata of the known and the unknown, this jiva is now struggling. But what is the scriptures telling us here? You are not the knower, you are the witness. Meaning that reflected consciousness means what? Somewhere that pure consciousness is reflecting over here, which means up above there is that pure consciousness. You are none other than that entire universal consciousness, which is reflecting on your mind as reflected consciousness. And that reflected consciousness with your baggage of the past vasanas is giving you from time to time all those thoughts. And you with your sense organs and organs of action and your mind and your so-called vasana shakti and the shadripus, you are conducting life on a continuous basis. We talk, we listen, we hate, we grumble, we express fear, we express anguish, we fight. Now all this, how is it happening? It is happening in the jiva bhava. So you are neither the jiva nor the knower. So constantly think that now that universal consciousness is reflecting on this mind, not which becomes the reflected consciousness, and that mind where it is reflected, I become the knower. I am neither the jiva nor the knower, but I am that enormous consciousness which has enveloped the entire universe. So I am neither the sufferer or enjoyer, meaning I am neither the bhokta nor the pramata. I am that chidruposi, they use that word over here, as pure consciousness. When? Right now. But I have got so much of ignorance in me. Don't worry. This consciousness is the same, be it with the most ignorant person or be it with the most enlightened person. Consciousness is the same. Only that ignorance is what has obstructed you. You have got this knowledge. I got to understand something phenomenal today. I know now what I am not. So far what I thought I was, I am not that person. Reflected consciousness, mind, organs of action, organs of sense, how this whole thing is happening, the thoughts, emotions, aspirations, shadripus, how this whole drama of life is happening. I am not this at all. I am that entire consciousness which has enveloped the entire universe. Come out of this jiva bhava. And that is the state. How do I experience it? Experience it in every action you are doing, which I gave you a preface much earlier. In that every action, what you are seeing that each and every action is supported by that consciousness, without which nothing would function over here. Imagine if there is no awareness or consciousness in you, what will they do? Body, they will declare you are dead and they will make arrangements for your departure. Isn't it? So, know from where this consciousness is coming, how this entire body is operating, and stay in that awareness. Know that behind every action, emotion, thought. It is that reflected consciousness, and behind that the pure consciousness. So you are not the reflected consciousness nor the knower. I am that pure Sakshi. Okay. Now we'll come to the 16th shloka. Okay. Aham ekaha. I am that one indeed. I am aham ekopi sukshmascha. Now here this is Bhagavan Shankaracharya uses the word sukshma. Sukshma means immediately we think subtle. Oh, sukshma means probably he's talking about the subtle body. No. I am subtler than the subtlest. Now, what are we all made of? We are made of three things. He calls us trichotonomous. One is the Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, and then we have the Chaitanya Shakti, which is reflecting in us as the Chetana Shakti. You are a trichotonomous conglomerate of these three things. But what have we thought ourselves to be? Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, gross body and subtle body. Because whatever we are experiencing at the level of the gross body with the subtle body, we are continuously experiencing life. So he says, now here this Sukshma means the calls of the third aspect in the trichotonomous body, which is the consciousness. That is Sukshma, he calls over here. And you are nothing but that Sukshma is wearing these two layers of clothes. That's all. That is your true self. Your clothes are not your true self. If you compare, if you are wearing say 2 layers of clothes, who are you? You will say, I am other than the clothes. So here the Shastras, the Upanishads and Vedas say that you are neither the Sthula Sharira nor the Sukshma Sharira, but you are that consciousness. Just now as we discussed the 5-point pointer program, where the enlivening factor. Now if you have understood this, then all the shlokas which will come ahead, you will start getting it just like that. Otherwise you will be struggling. So that's the reason I made it a point to tell you in detail. I would rather advise you all should listen till you get this once, twice, whatever it is. So now Vedanta tells us what is that real you. Sthula, Sukshma are only your coating which you are wearing. The two layers of dress. And now Vedanta is trying to teach us over here to see what we are not. Okay. So Sukshma, that real self, is subtler than the subtlest. And then they say, Ahame kopi sukshmascha jnata sakshi sadavyayaha. Sadavyaya means sat and avyaya, immutable. We'll first look at jnata sakshi. So jnata means knower, what we understood. Sakshmi means witness. And what does this say? You are both. Now see, if we had not understood what is jnata means pramata, just now what we explained to you, knower and sakshi. You just now said that both are different and I am sakshi. But now here they are saying you are jnata and you are sakshi together. How do I understand this? Okay, now you are looking at me. You are listening to me. Okay. You know what is happening in your mind. There are so many thoughts, feelings, doubts. All this is happening. So you are the knower, isn't it? You are the knower meaning you are the jnata. Now, the one who operates the mind and the sense organs obviously is called as the knower. And that's our general idea what we have. I know this. I know myself. I know my family. I know this. Many people in this society where I live. And all that is knows. But now Vedanta tries to tell you that this knower whom you so far understood as an apparent self It does not disqualify. It says it is an apparent self. It's not that you are not that, but you are something deeper than that. Catch this. You are not that you are not that, you are something deeper than that. And what is that? That is the Sakshi. See, if you try to jump, and if the distance is too long, you will not be able to jump. But if there are steps in between, what happens? You can easily cross over. So from the Jiva Bhava to jump on to Sakshi, it becomes difficult. So there you have the steps as a knower. Yes, everything I am coming to know in my life. So what I thought I myself was the knower, but he says, my dear child, no, you are not the knower, nor the Jiva. You are the witness, Sakshi. And that consciousness, which is that unchanging witness. Now the subsequent shlokas, he talks about that, where he glorifies our ignorance. How do you even mix up, how do you even say a diamond and charcoal are the same? That way he humiliates, talking about our ignorance. So he says that unchanging witness of this changing body and mind, it's in constant association. So you are a knower. So that unchanging consciousness, which is illumining every thought, emotion, idea of yours, is the witness. You have a bulb, you have electricity. Now, bulb is the knower. We can see light through the bulb, but know that this bulb is enlivened by the electricity behind. Bulb is not the one which gives you the light. Bulb is only dispensing light. But the true energy for that bulb to dispense light is the consciousness behind. See, we all have studied Drisha Viveka, isn't it? So, world of objects. Eyes are seeing the world and the objects. So, eyes are the seer and the world and the objects become the seen. Then, who is seeing the eyes? Mind is seeing the eyes. So, mind became the seer and the eyes became the seen. And then the last step was, who is seeing the mind? Consciousness is seeing the mind. And the mind also becomes an object, and consciousness remains the seer, the subject. So it's all about the subject and object. If we have to only understand this, we are not who we thought, and how that is explained over here. So the knower is also us, and it is the witness under the limitation of the body and mind. Isn't it? There is known, unknown, because there are so many things which me as a person cannot know. And I thought I was the knower, and also I thought I was the ignorant. I don't know so many things. I know these things. But you are not that. It is only a limitation that this body with its mind and its sense organs has that limited function to operate. So I am always that witness, meaning that consciousness. And I function as a knower. Mark these words. I am always a witness and I function as the knower. When I'm talking to somebody, when I'm listening to somebody, so what is in operation there? My mind is in operation, my sense organs are in operation, and this body is in operation. So I am not that. I function through this body, mind and senses, but I am that electricity behind the bulb, which means I am that consciousness which is giving that power to this body and mind. So we are in an unenlightened state. We don't know. So we think I am doing. I am talking, I am listening, I am giving, I am tasting, I am running, I am walking. So it was all up to that stage. He says, there is somebody deeper within you. That energy which is coming, that is your true self. So the knower is our apparent self, and the witness is the real self. The bulb is the apparent self, but the electricity is the true self. So that witness consciousness is never changing. It's not changing, it's unchanging, unflickering consciousness. So they say it neither sets nor it rises. So this knower consciousness is the same witness consciousness functioning through the mind, and it is subject to change. How is it subject to change? As a knower. Now I'm classifying that difference between the witness and the knower. Now let's say before attending the Vedanta classes, I didn't know so many things. But now I got to know so many things. So that difference as a knower, earlier I didn't know, now I know so many things. This is getting upgraded on a continuous basis. And at one point of time you may forget also. If you get Alzheimer's or anything like that, God forbid, you can forget also. So this knower, in a knower, it is constantly changing. But for a consciousness, there is no change at all. This is one thing. So the knower is subject to change and the witness is not subject to change. So the mind, all this, body, all are subject to change. Even the sense organs. Because all these are used by the knower. But Sakshi, what is the meaning of Sakshi? Sakshat ikshate iti Sakshi. This Sakshi does not need any instrument. Like now as a knower, I need those instruments. Pramata, I am a Pramata. As a Jiva, I need instruments to operate in this world. Without eyes, I cannot see anything. Without ears, I cannot hear anything. Without legs, I can't go anywhere. I am using instruments to know. But Sakshi does not need anything to know anything. How do I understand this? Look at your own self. That witness consciousness within you. Now, does it need any instruments to know about itself? Like as I always give the example, you are in a dark room. If somebody asks you, where are you? You immediately say, I am here. You will not say that there is no electricity, I cannot see myself. How will I tell you whether I am there or not? No. That awareness within, it does not need anything to know. It does not need the mind, it does not need the sense organs. Sakshat ikshate iti Sakshi. It can grasp anything directly. And then they come to that last words is sadavyayaha. Sat avyayaha. Meaning it is that immutable existence, pure existence. Now this coronavirus was there, You said, oh, now it is getting into mutation. They have found a vaccination for this virus, but now the virus has started mutating itself, meaning it started changing itself. So here this sadavyaya, meaning this pure existence is constantly the same. It is not subject to change. Whereas if you talk of the knower, it is constantly changing. Sometimes I understand, sometimes I don't understand. Sometimes I remember, sometimes I don't remember. Sometimes I can see, sometimes I cannot see. So now we got to know what is our true self. Okay, so understand all these facts. What is consciousness? What are the 5 pointers in consciousness? And what is this knower? Pramata, Pramana, Prameya, Prama. What is this Jiva? That consciousness, reflected consciousness, shining upon my mind, and I getting that feeling with my past data, thinking about me as a personality and me as a doer, I become the Jiva and I become the knower. So this consciousness through this knower is operating. So you are also the knower and you are also the Sakshi. But we are limited only up to the point of knowership. So now he says, come out of that and know that this knower is only an apparent self. There is something deeper within you. Bulb is only throwing away light, but there is something deeper within that bulb, which is that electricity. And who are you? You are not this bulb. You are that electricity behind that bulb. And this is not known to everybody. Now, what is the advantage of me understanding myself not as the bulb and not as me as the electricity? You will see in due course for your own self how you shifting from the standpoint of a bulb to the electricity, how your life transforms. You will get to understand by yourself. Okay, Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Idam Namama. Now we'll take the two divine names. यज्ञयुज्यो महेज्यश्च क्रतुः सत्रं सतांगतिः सर्वदर्शी विमुक्तात्मा सर्वज्ञो ज्ञानमोत्तमम्. Okay. 451 we have Sarvadarshihi, all knower. Wow, what a coincidence. As he is the pure consciousness in all living creatures, all knowledge in all beings is illumined by him. Just as the sun is the eye of the universe, so the consciousness is the illuminator of everything. See, this is God's grace. What we are talking about is we are getting that in the divine name. Not that we have selected this, right? It has come in sequence. Sarvadarshi. Vimuktatma. The ever liberated self. The Supreme, though he expresses himself through the equipments, he is never conditioned by the matter or the envelopments through which he apparently expresses himself. Just as the waves rise, exist and dissolve in the ocean, the equipments of experiences rise, play and dissolve themselves in him. He is ever liberated, never shackled by gross matter. This great principle of Paramatma is Sri Narayana. The Shruti says in Kathopanishad. So, to such a Sarvadarshi Vimuktatma Paramatma, we offer our humble salutations. And may he give us the understanding and the right knowledge to move from the Jiva Bhava and the knowership Jnata Bhava to the Chaitanya and Sakshi Bhava. Om Tat Sat. We'll read the Dhanvantari mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashahastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashahastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutagalashastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Together we offer our humble salutations, pranams to Lord Dhanvantari, who is none other than Lord Narayana himself. Let's sit calm and do some deep breathing and allow the subtle thoughts what we have learned today to go deep in our minds. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Together we offer today's Jnana Yajna at the lotus feet of the Lord. And we again and again offer our salutations endowed with bhakti, prapatti, to seek His grace, mercy and blessings. Naham karta hari preranaya hari prityartam Shri Krishna arpanamastu idam namama. Om Tat Sat. Good evening to all of you once again. I hope you were able to grasp many vital points here. Just be in those deep thoughts. These are real revelations and you need to grasp them, that's all. So that avarana and vikshepa what we were talking, now both are removed today for us. It was removed long back, but it's a re-establishment of those thoughts. So be in those thoughts and keep understanding that I am not this, but I am that consciousness. I am the electricity behind the bulb. That's all. It's not the bulb which is giving the light, but it is the electricity behind the bulb which is giving the light. We have to stay in that thought. Hari Om.